Today we're going to discuss how to best utilize the new Wexer feature of Auto Rotate that will be soon released to your My Wexer portal if it's not already. This feature will enable you to always have fresh content rotating through your schedule without needing to change it out on a weekly basis. All you're going to need to do is to define the parameters of a time block, and then that content will rotate through if it fits within those parameters. In order to take advantage of this feature, we highly recommend you start within the virtual class library section to get a handle on exactly what content will be rotating through a specific time slot for you. For example, if I knew that I wanted to pre-schedule a quick high intensity class at lunchtime to change out every Wednesday, I can do that by going into my virtual class library. Once I'm within the virtual class library, I'm going to want to match my different category selectors to fit the parameters of the auto rotate block that I'm trying to create. So if I'm doing a quick high intensity workout, I'm going to choose a provider that has that sort of content. For the purposes today, I'm going to choose 20-minute HIIT. I will then go over and decide on my duration. Now, since I want to do a quick time slot, I could either choose 0 to 15 or 15 to 30 minutes. I'm going to do 15 to 30 minutes to be sure it's still a pretty good length workout that they're getting around lunchtime. And from here, I can even decide to select the specific level so that I'm sure that every time they're coming in, they're getting a consistent level of workout. So I'm going to go over to intermediate. You can see I still get a good selection of about 7 classes that it can rotate through. If I was working with a provider that had a broader style of content, I may also want to select off the category. So say if they had everything from yoga to cycling, then I'm also going to want to select off the category so I'm sure that the content that populates at that time slot fits what has been predefined. Now that I have the content that I want to rotate through a particular time slot, I can either make a note of it and continue on working through the different time blocks that I wanted to create, or I can immediately transfer over to the calendar view and get this scheduled. I'm going to go ahead over to my calendar view and get this scheduled on a calendar right away. So as you can see, I have not created any calendars within my new My Wexer portal. So first thing I'll need to do is create a calendar and give it a title. After you create a calendar, you do need to quickly refresh the page to have it just automatically show up for you. Now that I have my test calendar created, I can go ahead and schedule my auto rotator blocks. To do so, you're going to navigate over to the left-hand side of your calendar screen. Instead of drawing over the standard collection blocks as you normally would, you're going to switch over to the special blocks using the star at the top left corner. Now you can see down below, I have different options. I have my disable the on-demand player block, or my generic rotator block, or a specific Les Mills virtual rotator block. The Les Mills virtual rotator block will only allow you to populate content if you have an active Les Mills license with that provider, as they are a premium provider. The generic rotator block will work if you have a Wexer collection license open, so that you have some Wexer collection providers available. Now, in order to schedule my Wednesday lunchtime high intensity class, I'm going to go ahead and draw over my generic rotator block to around noon on Wednesday. As you can see, a pop-up will appear that allows me to then specify a lot of different parameters. I can set it to either rotate or newest. So newest will work best if you're working with a provider such as Les Mills or Power Music Group that consistently releases new releases of content that you want to show up on the calendar. If you do select newest, it will only play the newest content until new content has been uploaded from that provider. So we generally recommend sticking with the rotation option. From there, I'm going to go ahead and select the other parameters that I've already defined. So I'm going to find 20-minute HIIT on this list, just as I did when I was in my content library view. Ignore the category section since I like how uniform the 20-minute HIIT content is. And then I'm going to increase my duration to fit the parameters I selected before and define that I do want that level there. Now I can go ahead and click Let's Go, which is going to prompt it to populate a class for me around that time slot that I drew it to. So you can see it now came up with a class between 15 to 30 minutes from 20-minute hit. That's an intermediate level class. If I want to adjust this time slot, I simply drag and drop it up to the exact time that I desired. From here, I can also go forward and check out that the class has populated going forward on my calendar. You'll see that it will only populate classes for 2 weeks in a row in order to allow for the content to freshen up the following week in case new classes are added. It's only going to have a time holder here, so letting you know that it will populate something on Sunday the 7th. If I go back to my original class, I can continue to edit or change this time slot beyond dragging it. So if I click it open, I can delete this event, which is going to just delete this, not the rotator going forward or that placeholder, or I can delete it in both instances. So you can go ahead and do that at any time. If I wanted to continue to add time blocks, I can either continue to drag and drop and make decisions from this screen if I've pre-noted and am aware of what content I will be opening up, or I can do that from the other screen. You can work roughly if you do have a decent idea of what's available by looking at the matches at the bottom and then populating it on. In addition, we do have this Les Mills time block option. And it works very similarly, only difference being that you do have the option to select the Les Mills programs you are subscribed to as well in order to rotate through them. Please do keep in mind that our duration limitations are rigid. So if a video is just over 30 minutes, it will fall within the next time block instead of within the 15 to 30. Remember that once you have the classes populated on your calendar that you'd like to play on your player, you will need to attach it to a player using this button to the upper left-hand corner and navigating to the player settings part of the My Wexer portal. If you'd like any assistance in coming up with some great auto-rotator time blocks, please reach out to your account manager who can provide you with an auto-rotate cheat sheet with a wide variety of rotator selection blocks for you to choose from. Thanks, and have a great day.